The House of Representatives has passed a resolution to investigate bribery allegations against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Nigerian Correctional Service, NCS, following claims by social media influencer Martins Ose, also known as Very Dark Man, against both organizations. Martins alleges that the EFCC dropped the money laundering charges against Idris Okuneye, who's also known as Bobrisky, after receiving 15 million naira.
Additionally, Ose claimed that Bobrisky was lodged outside the Nigerian Correctional Service despite being convicted for abuse and defacing the naira. However, the federal government has now suspended some senior officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service due to the bribery allegations. The Civil Defense Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board stated that the suspension allows for further investigation into the allegations, ensuring transparency by making the outcome public upon conclusion. This morning, we're joined by legal practitioner Adedotun Ajulo. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. There's another angle as well to the conversation that was brought in where celebrity Falz the bad guy was mentioned as well as his father, Leonard S.A.N. Femi Falana. And joining us to discuss that, we have Senior Associate Falana and Falana, Principal Partner F&F Legal and CEO of Folk Consulting, Folakemi Falana. Thank you very much for joining us from the UK.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so we'll begin this conversation, talking about the reports. According to unconfirmed reports, there are names of suspended officers that include Michael Anugua, Deputy Controller at Corrections at Medium Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, Lagos State; Sikiru Adekunle, Deputy Controller of Corrections at Maximum Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, Lagos State; and we also have Ogbule Samuel Obinna, ASC Second at Medium Security Custodial Center, Afikpo, Ebonyi State, for allegedly escorting a convicted inmate outside the facility. Iluafunsi Kelvin Ikechukwu, Deputy Controller of Corrections at Medium Security Custodial Center, Kuje, Abuja, for allegedly receiving money on behalf of inmates. So we'll start the conversation this morning with Adedotun Ajulo. Before we bring in Folakemi into the conversation, let's talk about this whole drama, and the allegations. There have been strong allegations that have been made by Martin Ose, popularly known as Very Dark Black Man, and your thoughts regarding these allegations.
Oh, well, the issue I have around the so-called allegation and everything that's been happening so far is that most often, as a nation, we get things misplaced. We also said allegation flying around the social media. But when you look at the approach that is coming from the parties involved, talking about EFCC, talking about even the Ministry of Interior, talking about Nigeria Correctional Facility, you can see that we are headed nowhere as far as this so-called allegation is concerned. Let me start by saying this. The person, the very dark man who made this allegation, I'm aware that an invitation was extended to him, and he has said, I'm not coming. Now, one thing Nigerians should not forget is that the so-called conversation between Idris Okuneye and another person, a third party, the so-called allegation, the so-called call recording, was between Idris Okuneye and somebody different from, who's different from Very Dark Man. We don't know how Very Dark Man came about this call recording. So, and this same person, invitation has been extended to the person to come around to say, okay, come and help us so that we can try to unravel all that you said. And this person came on the media to tell you he's not coming. Well, I believe Oshe must have gotten some form of legal advice. Because in the first place, EFCC have been alleged alongside Idris Okuneye. The question is, what is EFCC investigating? They might have forgotten. They remain Economic and Financial Crime Commission. In this case, they should not be the one to investigate themselves. I'm happy that the National Assembly launched a probe into what must have transpired. However, all of these things have always been with us, talking about the so-called allegation. And to come from the angle of a lawyer, I will tell you simply that I know that when you are entering a plea bargain, naturally, when you are entering a plea bargain, your count charges or whatever it is are amended. So you don't need, that is what happens naturally when you are entering a plea bargain. Let's assume you have like 9, 10 count charges. And the moment you enter a plea bargain, the first thing to do is to amend such charges. So you don't need to pay anyone in order to have those charges amended. However, I see us heading nowhere, like I've stated earlier on, because the parties involved, I think they are all just interested in this social media, whatever it is, than the core issues that underline whatever it is that might have been expressed so far.
So, I mean, the call, the invitation to Very Dark Man, to come for, further investigation, and if he says he's not coming, do you think that, I mean, shouldn't that be left for the EFCC to pursue, or not? I mean, if he chooses to not come, it's left for the EFCC to decide.
It's within his right to say he's not coming.
Yeah.
If EFCC doesn't have the right, we have authorities to say whatever it is that they want to. We have authorities to say that they can only investigate financial crime.
No, I mean, but EFCC should also be able to investigate corruption allegations within its system, shouldn't they?
Well, as it is right now, they should not be the judge in their own case.
All right. Let's bring in Falakemi Falana into the conversation. But before that, we have a clip, the clip that has caused this whole drama. Let's take a look at the video that was made and posted, an excerpt of the video that was made and posted online by Very Dark Man, and then we bring in Falakemi into the conversation.
I'm a very big influencer. I have over 5 million followers on my Instagram. So my Facebook, and they're paying me on my Facebook every month. So I'm okay. So they were like, all those money cannot still make me buy a house of 450 million naira in Pinnock, and where I'm staying in Chevron, blah, 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 blah. The shah put the money laundry shah. They charged me to court. So when they charged me to court, we had to beg them that, okay, if they want to remove the money laundering, how much would they collect? They said we should go and bring 15 million that they will remove the money laundering.
Unfortunately, we can't take all the whole clip now, but there was, of course, the clip where Falz the bad guy was mentioned, and there were certain allegations that was also made about Leonard S.C. and Femi Falana. And today we have Falakemi Falana once again joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. I think the question that I'll be asking first will be your reactions to this when you first heard the story. Your reaction first as sister to Falz the bad guy and daughter to your father, of course, Femi Falana, and of course, as a lawyer with Falana and Falana.
I think my initial reaction was obviously not to take it seriously, because unfortunately the way social media works, people say things, a lot of people say things. And a lot of times people say things that aren't true, that they're saying for clout, for attention. And so I was like, nobody's going to believe this. But then, because also this Very Dark Man fellow he's always, notoriously saying things, sometimes true, sometimes not. So I was like, I think people know this guy is notorious. I don't think anybody's really going to believe this, But, the more it played out, the more bizarre it got. And, people saying all sorts of just outlandish, crazy things. And, the questions that I had for people, it's not rocket science, right? This person claiming that, first of all, what was on the voice note that Very Dark Man was playing and what he was saying and insinuating are different things. Because the supposed audio recording that obviously was illegally obtained by the way, Bobrisky obviously asking this person for money, saying that, oh, I need so and so amount of money because I've been told that, the only way to get out of this ruckus is to get a presidential pardon. Before I go on, I need to state categorically that you don't need to pay any a presidential pardon. Pardons can be applied for. You don't even have to be a lawyer to apply for a pardon, by the way. Anybody can apply to the president for a pardon. It's not something you need to pay money for. But we know because, again, Bobrisky released a list of people he called to ask for money. So we know that he called several people to ask for money. He told them he told some people he needed money to stay in a more, the VIP portion of the prison. Obviously, he's telling this person on the, recording that, oh, I need the money to pay the Ministry of Justice so that my case can be fast-tracked to get my presidential pardon. So now, to go from that to what Very Dark Man was saying, which is that, oh, the money that was paid was to Femi Falana, and that Falz was the one who helped Bobrisky speak to Femi Falana and ask for that money for the presidential pardon. We're now talking about completely different scenarios here. And then he takes it as far as saying that, are Falz and Bobrisky involved? Are they lovers? We're just veering completely off track. Now back to the recording. If we're saying we're looking at what was on that recording, there's an allegation that, EFCC took money to reduce your charge. Then there's the allegation that you were going to pay somebody in the Ministry of Justice to make sure that your application for the presidential pardon is fast-tracked. And then we're now talking about what Very Dark Man said, which is that, Falz reached out to Bobrisky, helped him organize this and this and that. It's a whole mess, a lot of allegations. And when you're, throwing around these kind of allegations, you have to have evidence. And I would think any reasonable person, knowing that there are laws against defamation, before coming on the internet to say, oh, this person said this and this and this, or did this, or fast-tracked this, or helped this person achieve this, before saying all that, I would believe that you would have hard proof or evidence before you do something like that. But of course, not everybody thinks things through before they do them right. So now, as you know, both Falz and, my dad have come out to say, first, my dad has said, I never spoke to Bobrisky. I have never spoken to Bobrisky. I barely know who Bobrisky is. I just know that he's some social media personality that you people are talking about. I have no idea who Bobrisky is. I never spoke to him. Nobody, spoke to him on my behalf. Not by proxy, not directly. No communication with this guy. Secondly, Falz said, I heard from Bobrisky, but it was to ask for 3 million naira from me to be placed in the VIP section of prison. I had no idea that Bobrisky was trying to pay for a presidential pardon. He never discussed that with me. So you see that the issues are completely different. And so we're now in defamation territory because we heard the portions of the voice notes that Very Dark Man played. And what he said, two different things.
All right,
Yep.
Let's
Why
quickly...
are you defaming people?
All right, we have a video. I'm hoping that we have the correct one this time. Let's quickly take a look at what was said in that video, and we'll come back to the conversation regarding Folarin Falana, a.k.a. Falz the Bad Guy, and your father, Femi Falana.
I had to call Elele again because there's nobody for me to call. Elele gave me 2 million, the balance of 2 million. So now I'm supposed to come out in what's it called? Ending of July next month.
Okay.
29th. Bad guy. His father is a son. So first reached out to me. His father spoke to me. His father said we can apply for pardon.
This is not really the full video. I remember that at some point he had said something in line with asking, you know, why Falz was in a way maybe supporting him and saying something in the line of Falz's song. That's, of course, quoting the line where he talked about people criticizing homosexuals. Some of the reactions that we've seen to that is people saying that he did not outrightly call him that, and he did not outrightly say that they had a thing. So talk to us about your claims, what Falana and Falana is asking. You've asked for a retraction of that statement, and you've asked for an apology, which it doesn't seem like you'll be getting. So talk to us about the defamation aspect to it and what the next steps are, seeing as there might not be any apology.
I mean, again, you know, speaking about the defamation, he clearly said, you know, are Falz and Bobrisky involved? You know, we don't have all day to dissect the video, but if anybody has time, go on the internet, the video is there. He said at some point in the video, are Falz and Bobrisky involved? And then he quoted the portion of Falz's song where Falz talks about persecuting homosexual people. And he said, oh, is this why you released that song? You know, what are Falz and Bobrisky doing together? Are they involved? So there's no confusion as to whether he insinuated that or not. Now, you know, we wrote him, gave him the opportunity to retract the statement and apologize. Instead of apologizing, he came back online, did a video saying, oh, I did not, I could never insult, first of all, on his previous videos, he said, Femi Falana, I'm disappointed in him, how can he be involved in this, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes back and is like, oh, I really respect Uncle Femi. I can never insult him. Somewhat doubling down, but also not apologizing. You know, it wouldn't have cost you anything to say, okay, maybe I got a bit carried away. I didn't get my facts right, and I didn't mean for this to, you know, to cause all this ruckus. I'm sorry. 2 seconds would have cost you to do that. But of course, you know, you're chasing clouds, you're trying to maintain, you know, a persona, you want the attention, that's okay. Obviously, the next steps that we're looking at is, you know, going to court, because at the end of the day, people work really hard to build their reputations, and you cannot just wake up one day and decide because, you know, you think you're popular on the internet, you are going to come and throw all that hard work away.
All right, kindly hold on. Let's go back to Mr. Ajulo. We need to go on a break in a bit, but, you know, let's go back to you. Are you familiar with Idris Okuneye?
Well, I'm very, very familiar with Idris Okuneye.
Okay. In the voice recording, would you confirm that that was his voice?
Well, that would not be in a place to confirm that solely.
All right.
All right. Hold on. Let's go on a very short break, and when we come back, we will continue this conversation. Stay with us. We're still joined this morning by Adedotun Ajulo and Falakemi Falana, and of course, you know, discussing the current big conversation in Nigeria, the allegations of bribery and corruption with the EFCC, the Nigerian Correction Service, and of course, you know, allegations that have been made by content creator Martins Ose involving Idris Okuneye, also known as Bobrisky. Just before we went on a break, you know, I was asking Mr. Ajulo, the voice that you heard, is that a voice that you're familiar with?
Well, like I've said, we're in an era of so much improved technology, and it would be quite suicidal and unfortunate for anybody to basically linking a voice that you just heard randomly to.
So you cannot confirm or deny if that was Bobrisky's voice?
It's not even my place to deny or confirm that such. But we should all bear in mind that we are in an era whereby technology plays a lot of manipulation around us. Mm-hmm.
So you can't say for sure that that's his voice?
Well, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so.
Okay. All right. And also, can you... Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go further, you know, on you made statements earlier about, you know, a plea bargain. Was there an actual plea bargain between EFCC and Idris Okuneye?
Yes, there was.
What did that amount to?
We all read that Idris Okuneye pleaded guilty. So what precedes pleading guilty is what we call plea bargain.
Yeah, but he pleaded guilty to abuse of the naira.
Yes, but before we got to that point, he was arraigned on the issue of money laundering and the rest.
Yes.
You see, the interesting side of this is law. When you are pleading guilty or when you are making a plea bargain, what we naturally do, maybe not as a matter of law, but as a matter of practice, that I know in Nigeria, is that if you are coming up to say, okay, I'm pleading guilty, and I want to enter into a plea bargain, and let's say the count of charges or offenses against you are like 10, the first thing, the institution, talking maybe police, EFCC, whatever prosecuting institution, the first thing they do is to look at the charge and see how they amend the charge. And most often, if you have like 10 offenses slated in the face of the charge, it can be reduced to 2, simply because you have come out to say, yes, I'm ready to plead guilty. So in order to create that soft landing for whoever the accused might be, it flows naturally.
Yeah, but the expectation normally, when you get into a plea bargain is either because you have decided to cooperate with authorities or you've decided, that you need to do whatever you need to do to reduce your sentence. But his sentence wasn't reduced. He was still given a 6-month,
the issue of sentence is largely on discretion of the court. So that is not what we want to even go into for the purpose of this discussion. You see, everybody, even lawyers, we were all surprised, we were all amazed, like the sentence, having pleaded guilty, having entered a plea bargain, having said he was going to cooperate with the system, the commission, even the judiciary. So, but like I've said, you see, there are things that are left at the discretion of judges.
All right.
Just immediately after, not too long after Bobrisky was arraigned and convicted, we had the case of another so-called celebrity, another popular barman or whatever, and you saw what happened. So issues that relate to sentence or sentences, so to say, they are largely a matter of discretion.
All right, so now,
the judges.
Judge, I'm sorry, Oli, but can you confirm that he was or was not in prison for those 6 months?
You see, that's the area I want to go into. We play so much in this country. I saw all through yesterday the fact that the Minister of Interior got some persons suspended. That's what we are celebrating. You see, one thing I can confirm to you is it is very, very, very difficult for somebody to be convicted and not to be in prison facility. There is a fact.
Difficult but not impossible.
It's almost impossible.
But not.
And I can tell you, it's so simple to cross-check. There are entries. You see, what we should not forget is the complex personality of the man involved here. Talking about personality of Bobrisky, there is a clash. Someone who is believed to have done surgery, who we know naturally to be a man, but subsequently his conduct has been that of a woman, and you could see from the appearance and the rest of it looking like that of a woman. Now, placing that person in the prison, if it's a system that works, naturally the personality of Bobrisky is not somebody that should be placed in the general cell.
Yeah, but we've also not confirmed, this is a totally different conversation. We've not confirmed that he did any surgery. That is left to him. And he registered in court as a male.
As a male.
Yes, so I mean, you don't expect that he will be put in any other prison than the male prison.
You see, we are not being fair to Nigerian Correctional Center. I'm very sorry to say it. And the fact that we are all pretending as if we don't know what goes on there. Let me tell you the truth today. I'm saying this before the camera. Let me tell you the truth today. If there are no facility in the prison that reduces, if there are no facility, a better facility in the prison, a kind of private facility, every week in this country we'll be able to deal with jailbreaks. Because the understanding of our system is that when you are talking about prison facility, correctional facility, is where you go to be dehumanized.
Okay.
And that is not the purpose all over the world. So I'm saying, we are all aware. Everyone, members of Fred, they are aware in this country that in our prison today, you have categories and classes of facilities.
No,
All right.
Categories and classes of sex.
But I want us to still go back to the initial
Yes.
question. The question is, did Bobrisky go to prison or not?
For as it is, he was in prison. There are entries.
No, you know him personally, so we're asking you, in your capacity as someone who knows him.
I will
personally,
not, you
did
see,
he go to prison?
on the issue of knowing him, I will not want us to deal based on that. Let us look at it with what is presented thus far to us on the internet and the media.
Well, we're seeing conflicting reports. Is why we're hoping that you can help us with some clarity.
No, I may not be able to, I'm not in that position, like I've said earlier on. I'm not in that position to clear all of this. But I'm telling you, you see, we knew when he was taken to prison. Entries were made. We knew when he came out of prison. Bobrisky is a popular person that while in prison, persons visited him in prison.
Did you visit him in prison?
I did not.
Okay, so you can't really confirm that he was there for the 6 months.
Well, I'm saying it is almost impossible. It is almost impossible for someone to be...
So if you can't
not
confirm,
fully impossible.
it's not fully impossible.
Well, it is almost impossible.
All right. Seeing as you can't help us deal with that likelihood of him having been in prison or not, and
It's
that's
a very delicate...
Who do you think can confirm this for us?
That's why you have the privilege to get into... They are just basic things you acquire from the system, from the prison itself, Kirikiri Correctional Center. There are basic
It's not
there.
just for clarity,
Yes.
it's not just Martins Osset that is making his allegations. If you've also seen Radio Guard, some other content creator, also put out voice notes alleging, that was, of course, was his interaction with Bobrisky once again, showing pictures, and Bobrisky also saying that he's very okay, he's very fine. Obviously, maybe not, maybe or maybe not.
We are in an era of social media.
Okay.
We are in an era of so much going on the internet to catch.
You think that is fake as well?
You see, these things are very, very simple and they are very, very direct. There are basic things you need to do to just cross-check all of that. Anybody can come up with any video. Okay, why are these persons not coming up to cooperate with the law enforcement agencies in trying to establish? You see, an allegation has been made and it remains an allegation.
True.
Nothing more. And I'm saying, it is not even EFCC that has to investigate whatever it is that Oshe must have come up with. We have the police to do that. So, but unfortunately, they are even calling on the said very dark man, and he's saying, I'm not even going to cooperate. So he has made an allegation. That allegation needs to be investigated. And you don't need a Bobrisky to investigate this allegation. Because Bobrisky himself is the person alleged alongside the EFCC and Correctional Center. So the central person to whatever it is needs to be investigated here. Are those persons that are alleged that they spoke with Bobrisky?
Hold that thought.
They had a video with
All right. Hold that thought. We're going to a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll be wrapping up the conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back. As we wrap up the conversation, we still have Falakemi Falana joining us. And a lot has been said this morning, Falakemi, and we'd like to know what your final thoughts are. I mean, you've said that this is obviously like a case of defamation. The number of people who have made certain statements regarding what should have been done, what shouldn't have been done. So many people who have become lawyers in this day and age because of this situation. But what would you say your final thoughts regarding this story are?
I mean, there's so many questions here. Neither you nor myself nor Mr. Dotson sitting with you in the studio can confirm whether or not Bobrisky was in prison. But I mean, if people visited him in prison, and if the corrections officers have records of him actually being in prison, serving his time, have we, considered the possibility that this is just one of those cases of people, saying things for clout, lying for clout? I'm almost certain that all the things he said on that call, assuming, again, we can't even, verify whether, that phone call happened or didn't happen, right? Because we weren't there.
Yeah, but he's not even denying the phone call. that's the interesting thing. He's not even denying the, the phone calls.
Well, apparently,
apparently
he had released a statement saying that that wasn't him on the call. And I think he eventually took this down, but I did see a screenshot of him saying that was not him on the call. But even if it was him on the call, he was on that call to ask for money. One. Two, we know how these characters, especially these social media characters, we know how some of them can be. They say things that are not true. They say things because they are trying to, get a certain response from you. They say things because they want you to do something for them. He was obviously, trying to paint a picture of, these people are helping me with this, so give me this amount of money. He published a whole list of the people that he got money from when he was in prison, because he was calling, I bet you that he probably did not call less than 100 people. He was calling people, and I spoke to a few people who said, oh yeah, he called me, said he needed money, legal assistance, this, help to maintain himself in prison, that, and some people sent him money. So I'm sure he was on that call to get money. And I'm sure some of the things that were said on that call, I know for a fact that some of the stuff said on that call are just not true. For example, at no point did Falz speak to his father about Bobrisky or a pardon. It just didn't happen.
Yeah,
so
but
we
also Falakemi, one of the things that was a little confusing was, who initiated the call. Was it Falz or Folarin rather who initiated the call, or was it, Idris Okuneye?
No, Bobrisky reached out to Falz saying that I would like to speak to you, I need help. Okay. And he assumed he needed legal assistance or something, So he said, okay, how can I help you? Like, what's going on? I think he called, Bobrisky then called, because he must have sent a message saying, oh, please, I need to talk to you, I'm trying to reach you or whatever. And then Bobrisky called him and he said, oh, please, I'm trying to raise money so that I can stay in a more conducive part of the prison.
Right. And just to, finally clarify, even though we recognize that everyone is entitled to legal representation, in this case, you're confirming that your father, Femi Falana, was not in any way representing Bobrisky.
Not him, not Falz, not Falana. None of us were ever briefed on Bobrisky's matter.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Senior Associate Falana and Falana Principal Partner, F&F Legal, and CEO of Folk Consulting in the UK. Thank you very much, Falakemi Falana, for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and also to Adedu Tuajolo, thank you also for stopping by and for joining us this morning. Great to see you. All right.